Good morning. This is CATEX-TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. It is now Friday, October 29th, 2010. This is a live broadcast from Princeton, New Jersey. It's 11:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, 4:30 p.m. in London, 12:30 in Hamilton, and in Mexico City, 10:30. If you need to reach us during the broadcast, you can phone in toll-free at 1-866-67-CATEX. Overseas, our AOL instant mail address is CATEX-TV. Something is going on. Just before we walked into the newsroom, TV news networks are reporting that two airplanes have been surrounded by security personnel, cargo planes, one at Newark International Airport and one at Philadelphia International Airport. And the cargo, the boxes, this is all cargo planes. One was a FedEx plane, the other one was presumably a UPS plane. The cargo was being taken off one package at a time for examination. Apparently a bomb threat or some intelligence regarding a bomb was posted to the intelligence services. I emphasize these planes have already landed. In addition to that, there apparently was a similar scare that's still ongoing on a UPS truck in the borough of Queens in Manhattan. And also, just before we walked into the broadcast room, and there's nothing posted on it yet, cable TV was reporting that in Portland, Oregon, a similar bomb or a package indicating a possible bomb has been spotted at a federal courthouse there. So this all could be nothing. It all could be four completely unrelated incidents. It could be not even an incident at all. It could be somebody calling in crank calls. We don't know. But that's what's happening at this second. If you're near a cable TV station, I'm sure you can learn more. Now to our main news. The U.S. economy actually grew at a 2% rate. The GDP jumped up during the July through September quarter. It matched the economists' forecast. This was a little bit of an improvement from the 1.7% growth in the second quarter, and it's the fifth straight expansion of the world's largest economy. That's pretty good. The real increase in GDP in the third quarter, according to the Federal Reserve, reflected positive contributions from personal consumption expenditures. That's consumer spending. That increased 2.6% in the third quarter, compared with an increase of 2.2% in the second quarter. The positive trend, of course, is offset a little bit by a 17% increase in imports, which directly reduces GDP as cash flows out of the United States overseas. The jobless rate still remains stuck at 9.6%. This is somewhat good news. The stock market is down about 9 points right now. Aon, the world's largest brokerage, provided their numbers today, and they provide further evidence that soft insurance rates are impacting everybody. They showed that commission and fee revenue from its broking operations remained flat year on year at $1.5 billion. Increases stemming in part from acquisitions, including Allied North America, were offset by declines in organic revenue. The UK was especially badly hit, seeing an 8% drop in organic revenue. Aon blamed that drop on economic conditions and soft pricing. It was a mixed story apparently in other regions of Aon's empire. EMEA, Europe, the Middle East, and Africa, organic growth actually increased 4%. Due to growth on the continent and strong growth in emerging markets. APAC, Australia Pacific, I never knew what AC means, but APAC, it's the Australia region, the Australasia region. Organic revenue increased 2%, reflecting strong growth in New Zealand and China. And that was partially offset by weak economic conditions in Thailand. The reinsurance operations felt a hit on their top line. Organic revenue in reinsurance dropped 4%, primarily due, they say, to soft pricing globally on treaty placements. However, Aon still reported an increased net profit for the quarter, up to $144 million from last year's $120. Greg Case, the CEO, said that we've continued to save money on restructuring savings. In the third quarter, $105 million related to the brokerage segment was saved, primarily from workforce reductions. Well, here's some good news from Bermuda. Here's the very good news. Dr. Ewart Brown is no longer the Prime Minister. In fact, his wife has purchased a $2.4 million home in Martha's Vineyard, so maybe they'll go there. Here's the better news. Paula Cox, the current finance minister, And the husband or brother of Jeremy Cox, who's the insurance regulator, well, I'm not sure of that, I should know that. Ms. Cox will be Bermuda's new premier. She stormed to victory last night in the Progressive Labor Party leadership contest. She won 75% of the votes. Derek Burgess is going to be the deputy leader. Ms. Cox is going to be sworn in today as Prime Minister by the Governor of Bermuda, Sir Richard Gosney. Cox gave away little about her plans, although she hinted at a cabinet shakeup. She said that she would be staying on as Finance Minister. That's good news. She's a good person and a very competent job that she's done so far in that segment. Well, you knew this was going to happen. North Korea fired 2 rounds across the demilitarized zone at South Korea this morning. South Korea immediately fired back 2 rounds exactly. It's like one ping only. It highlights security problems faced by South Korea. It's going to host Barack Obama and other world leaders at the Group of 20 economic meeting in 2 weeks. An official at the South Korean Joint Chiefs of Staff said that the exchange of fire began when North Korean troops fired at a South Korean guard post in the DMZ. There were no injuries. The guard post is only 73 miles northeast of Seoul, the capital of South Korea. The firing of the 14.5-millimeter rounds came hours after North Korea criticized the South for rejecting a proposal to hold military talks and vowed to retaliate. Despite all the chatter, arguing, and screaming at each other over the DMZ, shooting incidents are actually very infrequent. Well, here's some interesting news for liability lawyers and plaintiffs' attorneys in connection with the BP spill. Here's a pretty deep pocket weighing in, and we mentioned yesterday actually that this is one of the deep pockets that has commercial insurance that's undoubtedly placed at Lloyd's. They're not self-insured. Halliburton has acknowledged that it skipped a critical test on the final formulation of cement used to seal BP's oil well before it blew out in the Gulf of Mexico. Halliburton, which was BP's cementing contractor, came under scrutiny when investigators from the President's Oil Spill Commission yesterday revealed that the test performed by the company before the blowout showed that the cement was unstable. Last night, after that report came out, Halliburton said that it did not conduct a stability test on the final mix of cement after a last-minute change by BP added more of an ingredient. Earlier statements by Halliburton had said that they were sure that the cement was stable. The cement's mix failure to prevent oil and gas from entering the well has been identified by BP and others as one of the main causes of the incident. Now, we'll go to a word from our sponsors and come back with the rest of the news. Bermuda-based reinsurer Endurance Specialty Holdings made a net profit of $253.5 million for the first 9 months of 2010. It's down about 33% from the same period last year. It made $381 million then. Gross written premiums for the 9-month period increased actually 2.8%, up to about $1.9 billion from $1.8 billion. The 9-month combined ratio, though, rose up to 90.1% from about 87%. The third quarter combined ratio went from 79.5% to 83.7%. In a statement, Endurance said combined ratios in the reinsurance segment increased due to higher loss ratios after the company experienced a greater frequency of large loss events during 2010, including $11.6 million of losses relating to the Christchurch earthquake. They also had net losses of about $63 million related to the Chilean quake and the European windstorm Xynthia. There's some news from QBE. John Neal, currently Chief Underwriting Officer for QBE Europe, has been appointed as the new Group Executive of CEO Global Underwriting Operations. He's going to be based in Sydney. Neal joined QBE in 2004 following the acquisition by QBE of his Ensign Commercial Motor Company. Neal will be responsible for the day-to-day management of the underwriting performance and the underwriting operations of QBE's 3 main operating divisions, the Americas, Europe, and Australia, Asia Pacific. There's APAC. The divisional CEO, the Group Actuary Officer, the Group Chief Risk Officer, the Group Human Resources Person, and the Global Head of Distribution will all report to Mr. Neal. Well, I don't know about you, but if I'm Frank O'Halloran, I'm thinking that he's my successor. Navigators Insurance Group, based in New York, has unveiled Navigators Re, a unit of its underwriting agency subsidiary, Navigators Management Company. The new unit will focus on developing specialty assumed reinsurance business. Stan Galansky, Navigators CEO, said that the group is going to focus on specialty niches that provide geographic, product, and cycle diversification to the group underwriting portfolio. Navigators Re is going to be run by Clay Bassett, who is Chief Underwriting Officer at Navigators. He's going to be the president of the new company. Joanne DeBlases has joined Navigators Re as president of the Accident and Health Division. For our final story, and we're still checking here, we're not seeing anything else on the airplane incidents in Newark and Philadelphia. Let's take a look at this picture, lest we forget. You have to give Dr. Gray out in Colorado his due. And that's a little bit of a tropical storm there. It's called Tropical Storm Shary, S-H-A-R-Y. If you're going into or out of Bermuda tomorrow, you're going to be hitting some turbulence, if not outright cancellations. Shary is going to pass within 29 nautical miles of Bermuda tonight. It's going to be bringing storm force winds to the island. It's packing winds of 35 knots to 45 knots. That's approximately 50 miles an hour. The Bermuda Weather Service said Bermuda could expect northerly winds of 25 to 35 knots, gusting to 45 by tonight. Seas inside the reef are expected to be 3 feet high and up to 14 feet high outside the reef. So, at least we do have some hurricane action. Just remember, it was supposed to be one of the worst hurricane seasons of all time, predicted by Colorado State University and Dr. Gray. Well, that's the news that we have. Unless the air traffic system is closed down, we will be reporting from London on Monday. And hopefully we'll be seeing a number of you at the open house in CATEX's London office on Tuesday and Wednesday. In the meantime, have a good weekend and thank you for watching.